All right.
If I have my way, I will get out of the country. So
Yeah.
all of us need to do something urgently to stop this. As we speak, there are still another problem in the state, which is contained in the communique that we issued about the strike. Our members in the state employed of different state governments, they are suffering. We have members in other states. We have members in other states that have been home for 19 months. People in Imo State, they've been home for 10 months. People in Ekiti, they've been home for 6 months. People in Ondo, they've been home for 4 months. How do they expect people to survive?
All right, Dr. Sogo, I want you to.
This whole issue.
Yeah, now we're speaking.
A state government that is doing very well. The state government, as we speak, has done all the things that we are asking even the federal government to do, including the MLTF that we're asking for. The aspect. So why will other states not do the same thing?
All right. Dr. Sogo, I want you to react now to now we're talking states, the Rivers State chapter of the NARD that has decided to pull out of the strike and go back to work. They of course, had said that the Rivers State government had made promises that, these commitments, they would, fulfill them. So what's your reaction to that? Is that in any way, good news?
What happened there is, like you said, it's just promises. Promises are not what we are asking for. And so we are going to deal with that issue, when this whole process is over. Because all we want is for our members to be treated, properly, the way they should. So if they give promises, they should go ahead and fulfill those promises.
Okay, but it's not in any way taking off steam from the purpose of the strike. Now that you're having a chapter deciding to pull out.
No, we are united. We are united. That is an in-house state, the internal mechanism of the association where it is going to deal with that. But like I said, if what they have done now is seen as a good, it should be reciprocated by the government.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the concerns, and we have to bring this up, the concerns of the patients and those who are going to be at the receiving end. I understand that doctors have been on the receiving end for many months, working without pay. But I want, a message from the NARD concerning patients who have to go to hospitals and don't have enough qualified medical professionals, medical personnel to attend to them now that the resident doctors are on strike.
For our patients, we are very concerned about them. And that is why the strike committee, we have been out here, available for negotiation. We want everybody to come together and ask the people, the players in the health sector to do the needful. We cannot go for a negotiation and we come out of there and yet the government is still exposing their insincerity. If their sincerity, thing call for an emergency. Everybody should sit down, address this issue. There should be people, the government of this country should give instructions to agencies of government that they employ to do the needful for the sake of the Nigerian citizens. They should do what they should do. They should face the people that are causing this strike to do what they should do. And including you in the journalist, I think you should be calling these people to order because you agree with me that you will not continue to work. If you are not paid for 2 months, not to talk of 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you will not work. You will close down your studio.
Okay. Can you confirm for us when the next meeting is meant to hold and, what we should be expecting from that meeting?
We're going for a meeting today at the Ministry of Health. That was what was stated yesterday. So we are going there because we are out to get resolution. We are determined to resolve this issue as quickly as possible for the sake of our patients. So we are available.
And, finally, you're saying that the NARD is not calling off the strike if the government does not fulfill the promises made in the memorandum of action, and no longer promises. There has to be actual action.
It's simple. The people are upset. Pay us for what we have worked, for the work we have done. Before we're able to go back to work, the people are hungry. The people cannot even work again. Look at it from that perspective. The hungry person is an angry person. The person cannot walk again. So that is the perspective you should look at it from.
Interesting perspectives there. Thank you very much, Dr. Jerry, for your time. Wow. I really wonder how long we would continue to discuss this. This is an old story. It's an old topic. Doctor strike has to strike.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. If you're thinking of how long you're going to discuss this, it's possible that you might be discussing ASU again, or ASUP again, or SANU. There's always one or the other. Or NLC might be in Kaduna again, striking. So it's
I mean, I remember speaking to the president of the ARD in Lagos, and one of the things he mentioned was just how this affects the mentality of these doctors. And a question he asked me that really stuck with me was, what sort of care do you expect from a doctor who has not been paid salaries for months, who probably has his rent due, his family needs money to feed, there are bills he needs to pay, his kids need to be in school, he's not received salaries, he's not getting income from any other source. It's from the government work he does to basically save lives. And then he's not getting any of that. He has challenges on the home front because of that financial issue. And he asked, what sort of care do you expect such a person to give? I mean, for a doctor to be able to dispense quality care, he should be cared for as well. And I wonder if that's a bit too much to ask. And seeing the trend of insincerity that these doctors are calling it, on the part of the governor or of the government, that you sign an agreement and you go ahead to breach that. It really doesn't tell a lot
that's
of
why
the
I was asking
of the people in power.
Dr. Isogun, what is the government coming to the negotiation table with? Is it, we forgot, sorry, or help me?
We need photocopies of the MOA.
Help me understand, what it is. What is the conversation like? That we had an agreement more than 100 days ago. You signed on a memorandum of understanding. You didn't fulfill any of those things in memorandum of understanding.
So what else is there to discuss? We
mentioned we're going to go on strike. Now we're on strike. So what exactly are we coming to discuss? Is it that you forgot? Or, the government needs more time to implement these things? Or they need to renegotiate and, say that some of these things, it might take, might be difficult for the government to pull off now. What exactly? Like when they meet at that table, what is the conversation like from the government side? And that's what we don't seem to be hearing. And we're not also getting any feedback from the Minister of Labor and, of course, Ministry of Health. We're not getting any answers from them to understand what exactly went wrong with those negotiations. And if any other body, because it was in the news not long ago that ASU might be considering going on another strike. So when they make these promises, what exactly happens between making the promise and the next strike? And, when you go back to the negotiation table, do they get back and say, long time, we're back again? What exactly goes on?
Oh, sorry, I can't wait for...
Good to see you again.
I can't wait for Nigerians to begin to experience leadership where the government says, we will solve this, and they actually solve it. For now, that doesn't seem to be happening.
Well, I don't know. This is where we wrap up the Wednesday morning edition of The Breakfast. Thank you very much for being with us and for spending your time with the show this morning. If you missed out on any of these conversations, remember to catch up on PlusTvAfrica's social media handles. It's simply at PlusTvAfrica on Facebook and Instagram. Same with our YouTube channel and also the new YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I am Osaogie Ogbowan.
And I am Annetta Felix. Bye-bye.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed. if you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2005 I dey pay.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
And thanks for joining us on Plus TV News Brief. I am Destiny Momo. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has assured that all critical projects being executed by the federal government in Niger Delta will be completed. He said this at a lecture and award ceremony in Lagos. Osinbajo was represented by his senior special assistant on Niger Delta affairs, Edobo Iyamu, who talked about the government's new vision for the Niger Delta region. And troops of the Special Task Force Operation Safe Haven have arrested 8 suspects in connection with the killing of 3 women at Rafinbona community of Plateau State. The soldiers responded to an alert, but 2 of the women had been killed by the time they got to the scene of the incident, a farm. The 3rd died from her injuries. 134 additional cases of cholera have been confirmed, with 15 deaths across 25 local government areas in Katsina State. And this brings the total to 1,534 confirmed cases and 75 deaths. The State Commissioner of Health, Yakubu Danja, stated this in a press briefing. And Katsina State received its first report of suspected diarrhea and vomiting in May. It was later assessed to be a cholera outbreak. A meeting between the House of Representatives, the Committee on Health and National Association of Resident Doctors ended in a deadlock on Tuesday. And according to the association, the agreements reached are not favorable to the doctors. The Reps Committee convened the meeting, which started on Monday, and Naval Outpost Onitsha, Anambra State, has described as false alleged killing of 2 of its personnel during a gun duel with suspected members of IPOB. Some publications had reported 2 naval personnel were killed at Akuzo during a gun duel with suspected members of the pro-Biafran group. The commander officer, Dekunle Okeni, however, said 6 suspected IPOB members died while others suffered serious injuries during a repel attack by the troops. I apologize for the mix-up. And resident doctors at the University College Hospital in Ibadan aren't faced by the federal government's no work, no pay directive, and they are choosing to stay off work like their counterparts in other parts of the country and to press for improved working conditions. John Alabi visited the hospital. His report is presented from our studio.
The University College Hospital in Ibadan isn't as busy as it used to be. And that's because resident doctors are not around to see patients. They are obeying directives of the National Association, which is on strike, to call attention to unfavorable working conditions. This is in spite of the federal government's no work, no pay directives. The president of the National Association of Resident Doctors in the hospital, Dr. Temitope Hussein, said the order is inconsequential.
Federal government should have a technical committee that will look at all the items that have been agitated for in the health sectors before they metamorphose into items that have to lead to a strike. WHO says you should have one doctor per 600 of the population. Population is over 220 million. We have about 32,000 registered. That's 1 to 7,000. So that means that we need to increase the population of doctors by a tenfold to achieve that. Now, these are all international organizations where the Nigerian government is a part of. So I think if things are done properly, we will not be there.
The public relations officer of the hospital, Tonye Akinriola, says UCH will be complying with directives from government and keep operations going.
All other category of health workers are at work. The nurses are at work. The scientists are at work, pharmacists are at work, the physiotherapists, all of them are at work. But as a responsible organization, whatever directive the federal government gives, we would, and I want you to mark that, we would comply.
Dr. Hussein is emphatic that doctors' demands are reasonable and can be met by the government.
Our demands are very simple. Very straightforward. So no work, no pay, sack, no salary. They are just a distraction. So when those things are done, we'll go back to work. The strike will continue as long as federal government does what he has said it will do.
The doctors want the federal government to place them on a previously agreed salary scale, review their hazard allowance, and domesticate the Medical Residency Training Act.
And the second phase of Nigeria's COVID-19 inoculation was postponed to allow the Nigerian Agency for Food and Drug Administration carry out the necessary test and certification on the vaccines. And that's according to the Director General of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, who addressed a press conference in Abuja. PlusTvAfrica's reporter Ngozi Kao Chesi monitored the briefing virtually.
Nigeria will be starting the second phase of COVID vaccination on August the 16th, after taking delivery of 4 million doses of the Moderna jab. At a press briefing in Abuja, the Director General of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Shuaib Faisal, explained the major reason for the delay of the second phase.
Why we've had to extend or postpone the launch date of the vaccine is because we want to institute once again, in conjunction with NAFDAC, the track and trace all the way to the health facility where the vaccines will be administered.
Dr. Faisal also assured Nigerians that all the brands of vaccine Nigeria is ordering are all effective, but he warned against mixing the different brands.
We are aware that Nigerians would want to know if there is a preferred brand. Let me assure everyone that COVID-19 vaccines, regardless of brand, as long as they've been approved by NAFDAC, have the same safety, the same effectiveness all across the brands. However, it is pertinent to state that mixing one brand of vaccine with another brand is, as first and second dose, is not allowed.
Data released in June showed that 2 million people had received 1 dose of COVID vaccine in Nigeria, and 700,000 had received 2.
Yes, the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, has appealed to IPOB to discontinue its sit-at-home order, and they've been advised to explore other means to demonstrate support for their embattled leader, Nnamdi Kanu. However, IPOB's sit-at-home order turned bloody on Monday as hoodlums wreaked havoc in Anambra and Imo states, killing at least 4 policemen and 4 other persons. And many were injured and vehicles were also burnt, while banks, markets, schools and other public places were shut down. People had to stay indoors out of fear of being assailed outside. And the naval outpost on Anambra State is described as false alleged killing of 2 of its personnel during a gun duel with suspected members of IPOB. Some publications had reported 2 naval personnel were killed at Akuzo during a gun duel with suspected members of the pro-Biafran group. The commander officer, Adekunle Okeniye, however, had said 6 suspected IPOB members died, while others suffered serious injuries during a repel attack by the troops. PDP governors on Tuesday asked its warring stakeholders to sue for peace. The governors also called for an early national convention in October after a meeting held in Abuja. The PDP has been experiencing an internal crisis leading to the resignation of at least 7 principal officers. The party has also lost the governors of Ebonyi, Cross River and Zamfara to APC. On Monday, some party members held placards calling for the resignation of National Chairman Uche Secondus.
Convention Planning Committee, and early convention should be held latest at the end of October. Also, that the zoning committee for the party position should also be constituted by the same national executive committee held immediately.
And also the People's Democratic Party is embroiled in an internal squabble over the fate of its chairman, Uche Secondus, and there are members who want him to resign, and of course others who want him to stay. With a division all too evident, PlusTvAfrica's Jacinta Obiuku brings us the views of 2 politicians, one of whom is a national executive of the PDP.
The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is fighting the battle of his life. The party's caucus at the House of Representatives have advised him to resign in order to save the party from collapsing. According to a communique signed by Honorable Kingsley Chinda from Rivers State, quote, "We urge the chairman to consider making the necessary personal sacrifice worthy of a leader and the party's current and future interests, with a firm assurance of honorable regards and appreciation by the party leadership now and in years to come. This he would do by honorably resigning his position as party chairman immediately to allow the party an early start." End of quote. But a politician and former media advisor to the governor of Rivers State, Upunabo Inko Taria, argues that the call for Secondus' removal is more personal than it is about leadership issues.
It's simple because they believe that this man is not, his tenure is probably October, November, or thereabout. So why not just let it be? Then you now bring in that vibrant man that you believe that will take the party, that will ensure victory of the PDP come 2023. You have more than a year to go. So why are you in a hurry?
The Assistant National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, on the other hand, points out that interest and crisis cannot be wished away in politics.
To the electorate, to the people outside, what is happening in both PDP and APC are normal things that are expected prior to a contest, which is 2023.
On the argument that Uche Secondus isn't vibrant enough to lead the party through the 2023 general election, this is what Odeyemi has to say.
It did not engage us enough. It did not give us the necessary recognition as national officers. We were not given any role, even though the Constitution states that we are to deputize for the principal officers. But what we are saying is a good administrator will still know how to engage people rather than just see them as I do.
The governors elected on the platform of the PDP, the party's lawmakers, members of its board of trustees, the National Executive Committee and the National Working Committee are all weighing between seconders and the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, who is considered more strategic to the party's future ahead of the 2023 elections. Jacinta Obiukwo for Plus TV Africa.
And our APC governors have given the Mayor Bala Buni-led Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee the go-ahead to conduct the party's national convention. The Progressive Governors Forum, at a crucial meeting on Sunday, reviewed the party's July 31 World Congress and directed the committee to proceed with other congresses, and that will culminate in the conduct of the national convention. And this decision was contained in a communique signed by the PGF chairman Abubakar Bagudu on Tuesday in Abuja. The forum commended the progress so far by the caretaker committee in actualizing the directive of the party's National Executive Committee.
The internal wranglings in APC appears to be festering. The bone of contention is Governor Mai Mala Buni leading the caretaker committee. Analysts call to mind the recent Apex court ruling that played out in Ondo State. The case between Governor Rotimi Akeredolu and Mr. Enyitayo Jegede is still fresh. And that raises the question of legality and functions of the National Caretaker Committee. However, reactions have been triggered. A guest on Plus TV breakfast show, Oshunowo Ibrahim, stresses Buni's position as the chairman is voluntary.
The judgment under any guideline has no effect on Governor Buni's being in office. The Article 17 states clearly that the party can organize or inaugurate an ad hoc committee. An ad hoc committee has no salary. Ad hoc committee has no benefit. It's just a voluntary job.
Again, here is the side of PDP.
We believe this should be a lesson to them, but unfortunately they have started misinterpreting or turning upside down what the Supreme Court said, believing that there will not be any problem. I pray that they maintain this position, continue with their congresses, conduct election for their gubernatorial primaries, and the Supreme Court will come back to give them the correct interpretation of what it said.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, Paul Ananambad, recommends a way forward for the party.
It is difficult to prove that Governor Buni is not in an executive position as acting chairman of the largest political party in Nigeria and in Africa. I would advise the party not to give political solution or political interpretation to the Supreme Court decision, because it was not a political matter. It was a legal decision.
Meanwhile, the APC governors have passed a vote of confidence on the committee. They believe the committee has discharged its duties effectively so far. Invariably, they are satisfied with the leadership of their colleague, Governor Mai Mala Buni. Jacinta Obiukwo for Plus TV Africa.
And still on APC, members of the All Progressive Congress in the federal local government areas of Ondo State have appealed to the state leadership of the party to address the crisis arising from the recently conducted Ward Congress in the council. The members have filed a suit at the Federal High Court to challenge the conduct of the Ward Congress. They were left with no option than to seek legal redress. Addressing a press conference in Akure, the aggrieved members say they are willing to withdraw the suit in court once their grievances are addressed by the party leadership.
where it is possible for all parties to reach a consensus that they can go ahead. But where it is not possible, it then means the normal democratic process needs to take place. And that was not what we have done in the federal. And we have gone to court and we are filing our grievances before the Federal Court at Akoya yesterday. And we have made copies available to all the stakeholders. And the people that are stakeholders, in all that we have done, the APC Ondo State Chapter, Mr. Boyega Isiaka, that is the chairman of the Congress Committee Ondo State Chapter.
And news from other parts of Africa. At least 25 Algerian soldiers were killed on Tuesday as they attempted to extinguish wildfires raging in northeastern provinces. Wildfires erupted simultaneously overnight on Monday across 14 Algerian provinces, killing at least 7 civilians and injuring dozens of others. Algeria's defense ministry believes the fires as caused by criminal acts. And also, Ivory Coast ex-president Laurent Gbagbo has proposed setting up a new political party. His Ivorian Popular Front keeps suffering deep internal divisions. Speaking at a meeting of FPI leaders, Gbagbo hit out at his former Prime Minister Pascal Afin-Gossen. Pascal currently heads one of the factions, and he has proposed creating a new instrument of struggle. And on sports news, Lionel Messi has joined Paris Saint-Germain after his emotional departure from Barcelona. The French club confirmed this in a video on their Twitter handle on Tuesday, and before joining PSG, Messi represented Barcelona for the entirety of his 17-year professional career. Messi had conceded at a tearful farewell news conference in Barcelona on Sunday that joining PSG was only a possibility. He was accompanied to the signing by his father, his wife, and 3 children. And that's the news brief. For more, please follow us at PlusTvAfrica on Facebook and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I am Destiny Momo. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. Nimasa This Week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. Statutorily mandated to ensure that there is regulation and promotion of matters affecting our waters. NIMASA bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on this channel.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, Abi.
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will feel the pulse of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say. The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Welcome to The Breakfast.
A breakfast where we unbundle top and big stories of the day.
Is vaccine the only way out of this pandemic?
No, definitely not.
Many Ghanaians just want a peaceful election and they are hoping there will be no rigging.
There is nothing bad in borrowing for infrastructure. The minister added that he was impressed.
Please come and see yourself what we are doing with the money we have borrowed.
It's very important. The way we brand ourselves is the way people will carry us.
It's just the driver of the two vehicles that were completely burned. This one was here screaming.
What do you recommend the government do to support this sector?
Direct intervention, that's what every government all over the world has done.
We are not a parallel security structure. A multiple core is a complementary core.
What I will not encourage Christians to do is to carry dagger and follow anybody. No.
Join us on The Breakfast, 7 a.m., Monday to Friday.